It's always an honor to be here. I'll just tell you briefly, because I don't want this to be about me. I want to move on to big issues. Had a very bad tumble. I had to go to the hospital. It was an excruciating pain. Turns out that I tore my quad in my right leg. I didn't even know what the hell a quad was, quite frankly. And I've been basically bedbound for most of the time prior to this broadcast. And I'm not one to take these heavy-duty pain killers, so the pain persists. And I sit here literally in a wheelchair with my leg up. And I don't do that because I want a pat on the back of my head. I'm no hero. In fact, I'm furious with myself. But just so you know, I'm not out on the beach on a vacation and so forth, just taking it easy. I take this job very seriously, my responsibilities very seriously. I know there's millions of you out there, and we have a country to save. And the way we're going to do this now is tonight I'm going to broadcast for 2 hours, and then Brian Mudd will come in for hour 3. We'll see how it goes, and then proceed like that until I can do the 3 hours. Next Tuesday I have the surgery, so I won't be here. But please know that I want to be here. And so let me move on now. This debate. One of the things I've noticed watching the various shows and so forth is they talk about preparation for the debate, and when you have to spend 5 days, 7 days preparing for a debate, you're heavily scripted. You're not comfortable in your own thinking, in your own mind, in your own record. You're not comfortable in your own skin. You feel the need to have zingers and one-liners. You've got all kinds of people coaching you. When I went down and interviewed President Trump for Life, Liberty, and Levin for those 2 days, I can tell you that he preps his own way. He will talk to other people. He'll take advice from other people, but he's not sitting there with notebooks and studying and studying and studying. Now, traditional politicians criticize him for that. I don't criticize him for that. He's been president of the United States. He knows what he wants to do, and he knows what he has done. For him, the strategy needs to be how he goes about conducting the debate, not the substance. For Kamala Harris, it's the whole field. She has to discuss or be advised or scripted on not just the strategy, but the substance. Because what she is a Marxist Islamist who runs for president, this time anyway, as a chameleon. She'll be whatever she thinks the American people want. She'll talk about the future. She'll forget about the politics of old. You know, she'll have all kinds of shibboleths and so forth, shibboleths. But the fact of the matter is, it's a tall task for people who keep telling us that Donald Trump has to expose her for her radicalism. Donald Trump has to catch her on her flip-flops. Donald Trump has to that. Donald Trump is debating. It's the job of the moderators to do most of this. And, of course, the moderators are enormously hostile to Trump. ABC News is probably the worst of all the news organizations, and that's saying something. But they have demonstrated that they are. Newsbusters just put out numbers that are unbelievable. I think it's 100% or 99% of the coverage is positive for Harris. 93% is negative for Trump. That's not a news organization. That's a propaganda operation. So there's really 3 levels of spin as I see this. Number one, the pre-debate spin. It's all over the place. There are people there, bobbleheads who you've never seen. You don't even know who they are, telling you what to expect, trying to create the environment for this debate. And then there's the debate itself. And then there's the after-debate spin. And let me tell you a little secret. That's already cooked into the cake, as they say. The Harris people in the media pretty much already know what they're going to say, unless it's an utter debacle for Harris. They pretty much know what they're going to say about Trump and what they're going to say about Harris. And I suspect it'll go something like this. At Trump, somehow they're going to find that he was a misogynist. Somehow they're going to find racism Perhaps. Somehow they're going to find that he was rude, even if he's just taking her on. Because what Kamala Harris and the left do is they say women should be treated equally, except when they shouldn't be. And so if playing victimhood, if they feel that works for her, that's exactly what they're going to do. But here's what bothers me about the whole thing. The fact that everything rides on a debate, or for some people, everything rides on a debate. Kamala Harris has been around a long time, and she has been a joke. She has been an extremist. She has been lousy. She's accomplished not a damn thing positive for this country. She talks about what she's going to do when she's had 3.5, 4 years to do something. And she lies and lies and lies about the border. That's Trump's fault. The surrender in Afghanistan, that's Trump's fault. Are you kidding me? And the moderators aren't going to step in and say, no, wait a minute, you said this and you did that, which is what the moderators are there for. They're the referees. And it's like baseball, you know, you hit a foul ball or you throw a strike, you expect the referees to call the game. Well, same with the debate. You expect the referees, the moderators, to call the game, but they won't. Remember the time they actually interfered when Romney was making a point to Obama, and they lied about what Romney was saying in order to help Obama? This goes on all the time. So all the commentators leading up to the debate are telling you what should be said and how it should be said. My only advice to the president would be stay focused. She says you're a convicted felon. There are things you can say like, oh, the idea that you are using that case, which is a horrendous miscarriage of justice, which will be overturned after this election, demonstrates to me how dishonorable you are. Just something like that. And you don't need to study this. You don't need to practice this. Just do it. Just do it. The border. She'll say, you, Trump, you left the border open and so forth. You know what I would do? I would have a 1-line or 2-line on that, and then they'd go on what the border looks like today under Kamala Harris. What a complete disaster it is, all the death that's resulted from it, the people who are murdered, who they have called, whose names they don't use, the women who are raped and sold into slavery, most of whom are women of color, that 330,000 unaccompanied minors are missing and they don't know where they are. Just hammer them. And same with this. They keep hiding behind it. I've tried to put the facts out, but even on our friendly Fox network, people are not using it. The facts are on this so-called bipartisan legislation. It would have made as a matter of federal code, matter of federal law, catch and release, lawyers for illegal aliens, health care for illegal aliens, 5,000 illegal aliens a day, which is almost 2 million a year. Now think about that. And of course, you know the gotaways, they can't count them because they're gotaways. There's many things that in that law that would repulse the American people. Talk about abortion. You should just say, you keep trying to say where I stand on abortion. Where I stand on abortion is with the American people. The states will decide. The Supreme Court has said so. I've said there will not be a federal law because the court said there cannot be a federal law. And there have been more abortions since the Dobbs decision than before the Dobbs decision. So I really don't know what your point is. And things of that nature. And what exactly have you done for women, Kamala Harris? You've destroyed women's sports. You haven't come to the defense of women on the border. There's many things you can say about all of this, and you don't have to study for 7 days to do it. Just a matter of staying focused, listening carefully to what is said. She will go on the attack, and I would just brush a lot of that aside. That's just me anyway.